What is up, my friends? How are we? You are very welcome along to Friday night's late night agenda, where, of course, we're going to be celebrating. Why are we going to be celebrating? Well, it looks like a certain German is coming over to Anfield, and I'm not talking about Jurgen Norbert Klopp, who will be there on Sunday. No, ladies and gentlemen. I am speaking about the one, the only, Florian Wirtz. We are going to take you through tonight what that means. What it means for Arsenal is a lot more no trophies. What it means for Liverpool is, well, a lot more bragging. So let's get stuck into it. Couple of super chats to get straight into today. First one in, Craig, seemingly 3 marquee signings and some timely comments from Arna equals the best send-off summer 66 PR shithousery best club in the world. Aaron said, I think FSG see this as an investment summer. Spend big on youth and talent this summer to set us up for the next 4 or 5 years and make small, non-expensive adjustments along the way. But Craig, where do you see Wirtz playing? At Anfield, in a Liverpool shirt. We'll get into it, Aaron. Don't worry, my man. And thank you. Nick Raymond as well. Hope Pepe Reina would off with a red card in his last match. Hopefully Napoli finished the job. Look, I don't really give a fuck about Napoli tonight, with all due respect. Tonight, it's about Liverpool and the Reds. Tonight, well, it's about smirking, smiling and being as smug as humanly possible. So, what's gone on today? Well, I think it's fair to say that the day has escalated rather quickly. We got up today and we've seen the usual stuff about, Liverpool just waiting on a decision. Wirtz may do this, Wirtz may do that. But as the day has gone on, ladies and gentlemen, well, I think it's fair to say the turntables have turned. And Liverpool are looking like they are going to smash their transfer record and potentially the Premier League transfer record for a player whose talent, well, can't be doubted. I'm going to take you through some of the underlying numbers around why Liverpool are willing to go as big as we are for Florian Wirtz. If you still have any doubts about this one, it's understandable. We've been here before. We've been hurt before. But this is different. You've got the Romanos. You've got the Ornsteins. You've got the Joyces. Everybody involved. Wow. What a day, ladies and gents. And we are here to enjoy it, to celebrate it, and to brag about it. So, everybody, let your thoughts come in. Keep us known. How happy are you right now? Do you still have doubts about it? I understand if you do. There will be no slagging today from me. I will go out there, though, and cry if Harvey doesn't shut up crying every 5 minutes in the kitchen. My God. Can you hear him? He was only out the back 2 minutes ago and he wants to get back out again. Right, ladies and gents, let me get stuck into it. So, Ian became a member beforehand, Mark said as well. Ian James, thank you for that one, Ian. I have a couple of comments to get through. My God, they're coming in thick and fast. Hey, Craig, want to say that I love the channel. And if we pull this off, it will be a huge statement in a world football. Credit where it's due, FSG. Absolutely. I don't know if you've seen some of the posts we put up today, but I'll show you. I'm not afraid to take the piss out of myself when things are going well. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. You've probably seen this on our X account, but just in case you haven't, I'll show you what I mean by me being a good sport. 1 second. So much stuff to get through today, folks. So much stuff. Packing for the shows in Liverpool, getting everything ready to go. So look, you know the way I like a bit of banter. So we posted this image and said, Craig, if John W. Henry pulls out the money to sign Florian Wirtz, and you know me, folks, I'm not afraid. I did say to you, if we ever do get the signings that we want, well, then I'll be on and I'll be saying well done to FSG. And on this one, well done to Richard Hughes, well done to FSG, well done to Michael Edwards, well done to everybody involved. And also, as I'm sure you're going to find out as the course of the screen goes on, well done to Arne Slot for convincing Florian Wirtz that we should be his destination of choice. Right. So, thank you again. Really appreciate that, John. Jaden Walker said, oh my God, it's actually going to happen. I know. I didn't think it would escalate this quickly, Jaden, but me and Connor joked as the day went on. Our watch, we'll get to Here We Go tonight now, even though they're saying next week. And it's getting close to the Here We Go. Liverpool are in talks with Leverkusen about the structure of the fee at the minute. It looks as if, you won't believe this, but Bayern Munich are potentially looking at Bruno Fernandes as an alternative to, well, Florian Wirtz, who is going to become a Liverpool player by all accounts. It's nuts. The amount of people who said to me today, is this really happening? I can't believe this is actually happening. Yes, folks, it looks like this is actually happening. Right. Napoli currently top of the table with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of McTominay. Also told you had a sneaky good feeling about Wirtz, said Elks. Shane Almond said, could tonight end with a here we go, I wonder? It might do. Genuinely, mate. Don't rule anything out the way this scenario has been unfolding. Liverpool want this sorted quickly. Liverpool don't want any snags. Liverpool are looking to get this one done. Do you remember late last night, we put out a video and we spoke to you about different people who've been somewhat ridiculed, some who we just didn't know much about, but their chain of events and the way that it was spelled out, be it the Bayern Space account or somebody else, you can see that's starting to come to fruition now, exactly as was mentioned. So let's give credit where it's due. Rabadan said, dear United fans, I know things look dark now, but remember, it has to get Wirtz before it gets better. Boom, I love it. Terence Governor, I can see 21 coming home. Hello. Yes, sir. What about a double next year? What about the double next year? Look, everything's on the table now. Everything's possible. We can dream. I've heard a little rumour. Now, I can't substantiate this, but there's some talk that Florian Wirtz wants tickets to our live show on Sunday. Well, he best get his finger out and hurry up, because if you do want to come and see us on Sunday at the Hot Water, wrong one, this one, you can get your tickets with the QR code on the screen, the remaining ones. Thank you to everyone that's got their tickets so far, and I can remove that one before I accidentally bring it back up again. Right, I've got to go through these chats, but then I'm going to go through the news, because believe it or not, we do have to keep people informed as well. Right, Off the Post said, how advanced is the deal, Craig? Why am I putting that one up? How advanced is the deal, Craig? It's very advanced, as in the player's given his word to Bayern that he's going to Liverpool. He's told Leverkusen he's going to Liverpool, and Liverpool are negotiating for a fee at the minute. How that's structured, I guess we'll find out soon. But I wouldn't say we're at the here we go yet. I'm not going to say to you I'm 100% believe he's going to be a Liverpool player, but I'm at 95. I'm at 95. That's how far along I think this one is. Liverpool have moved very, very quickly. Gary said, if they sign Wirtz, I think you're going to have to do a John W. Henry Appreciation Hour. Look, I've always said, Gary, if FSG pony up the dough, I'm not averse to coming on here and saying, well done. I've done it before. I will do it again. But you know what? You're all welcome. Because, you know me, I give out to a player, they score. I give out to an owner, he spends. You're very welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're very welcome. Right. What have we got? Kelly, how are you? Kelly said, throwing the meds away, best medicine, Liverpool FC, and a gorgeous young man, Craig. Well, thank you, Kelly. I'm absolutely shoveling the painkillers in at the minute. My jaw is in a really bad way. Of course, it flares up just before the live shows, but nothing's going to keep me from coming over to Liverpool and enjoying this season with everyone. Just woke, you, Australia. What, WTF? You can believe it, my man. It is happening. Gary said, if they sign Wirtz, I think you have to go do a Henry Appreciation Hour. We've done that one. Danny said, oh dear, Man United, just when you thought things couldn't get any Wirtz. Yeah, and they're just going to keep getting from Wirtz to Wirtz. Pulse Champ said, am I dreaming? Can't believe what I'm seeing here. I know, it really does feel otherworldly, doesn't it? Like, Liverpool are not just going to break our own transfer record, but are going to break the Premier League transfer record for a player who just turned 22 years of age. And let me run you through some of the stats, by the way. In the Bundesliga last season, assists, Florian Wirtz, 23, ranked first. Final third passes, 1,790, ranked second in the Bundesliga. Take-ons attempted, 313, ranked first in the Bundesliga. Through balls, 49, ranked first in the Bundesliga. And possession won in the final third, which is a really key stat, 71, first in the Bundesliga. So you can see why Liverpool and many other clubs were going big for Florian Wirtz. But it looks like Edwards, Hughes, FSG and Liverpool have won that race. Jake Henshaw said, hey Craig, thanks for bringing the good news to brighten up my evening. Your dance is definitely worth the super chat dance for me, baby. Oh, mate, wait till you see me at the live show. You know what I mean? Full truffle shuffle on the stage. I'm buzzing. Honestly, I didn't want to believe that we were going to get this one over the line. But as the last few days have gone on, I think it's fair to say it's looked more and more likely. And today, well, the good news keeps coming. I haven't even had a chance yet to get into the news because there's so many super chats and member messages that I want to get through. But I think we need to take a pause and start going through some of this news. So, let's start from when things really start going in Liverpool's favour. Because as the day went on, it became abundantly clear that Florian Wirtz was going to be coming to Liverpool. I recorded my news video earlier on, and I'm not messing. I'd only uploaded it and sent it live, and then the news started to break. So we recorded it short, but I knew I'd be back on tonight. So let's start going into it. Started off saying, breaking, Liverpool are moving faster for Florian Wirtz and close to reaching a full agreement with the player. Next up, we had Fabrizio Romano saying Liverpool have internally approved the transfer fee of between 130 million and 150 million euro for Florian Wirtz. Next up from Ben Jacobs, we had Liverpool are now expected to bid, with Leverkusen seeking as much as 150 million euro. Not a done deal yet. Liverpool know Wirtz could yet stay at Leverkusen, but optimism stems from the club's excellent relationship with Leverkusen and the fact they prefer to sell abroad. Next up, Matej Moretto said Liverpool and Leverkusen are expected to finalise a deal for Florian Wirtz. Bayer prefer to sell outside of Germany. The footballer is waiting for the two clubs to make progress in the negotiations. Then we had Florian Plettenberg, who posted, breaking, Florian Wirtz has given Liverpool his verbal commitment today. Being told that Bayern have been informed now, following the latest developments, Wirtz has officially turned down FC Bayern. No transfer. Liverpool will submit their offer shortly. Next up, we had Kicker, German publication, saying the conversation between Wirtz and Liverpool coach Arne Slot is said to have been a decisive factor. Moving on from this, Sky Germany learned from England that Florian Wirtz personally promised Liverpool for the move a few hours ago. On top of that, we had Fabrizio Romano saying Liverpool have made a formal approach to Bayer Leverkusen for Florian Wirtz. After initial green light from the player, Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen are in talks over a transfer fee and a package. Liverpool want the deal to be done very soon, not a long saga to avoid surprises. Then we have, this is very interesting. Now, this comes from the Bayern Space account, the one that we've been kind of talking about, that some people in Germany were deriding, saying was completely off the wall. But their version of events has pretty much panned out. And if this is true, well, it'll give you an indication as to why he chose Liverpool. So, this account said, breaking, reasons that Wirtz rejected Bayern. Wirtz felt underwhelmed and confused when he spoke to Vincent Kompany. The Bayern manager couldn't present him a clear tactical plan. Next up, Florian was not at all impressed with Bayern's training facilities, which haven't been renewed in about 30 years. When he asked about improvements, the board apparently told him the planned upgrade is currently on hold, which irritated him even more. In comparison, Liverpool's new and modern training complex made a completely different impression, showing him that the club is structurally ready for the future. There we go. Now we've got Christian Falk, who said there have been renewal of talks with Bayern bosses and Wirtz's family. Bayern have reportedly been informed that Florian Wirtz's intention is to move to Liverpool if the English champions can agree on the requested transfer fee with Bayern. Fabrizio Romano said, major breaking. Here we go. Major breaking. Here we go. Expected soon for Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. Liverpool lead Florian Wirtz chase for £126 million valued playmaker, writes Paul Joyce of The Times. Then we had another one from Paul Joyce who said Wirtz is close friends with Jeremy Frimpong. They've sat beside each other in the dressing room, and Frimpong used to give Wirtz lifts to training before he could drive, and that link-up would make a move less daunting for a young player to come to Liverpool. And now, just because we're in a good mood, let's laugh at United a bit more, because Bayern Munich are considering a move for Bruno Fernandes. Bayern want to hold talks with the Red Devils about the player, but there is a huge offer. Chris Wheeler said an offer worth up to 300 million between a transfer fee, wages and bonuses for Bruno Fernandes to go to, I think it was Al Hilal. So, as you can see, it's been a busy day. Right, let's keep going. Marcus said, we did to Bayern what Real Madrid did to us about Jude Bellingham. Feel a bit sad for them. Don't. It's grand. They'll get over it. They're so used to getting what they want in Germany that it is quite refreshing for us to be able to get this done. I've always said as well that Bayer Leverkusen don't want to sell to Bayern. They would much prefer the idea of the player either staying with them or going outside the Bundesliga. And that's exactly what's happening. So these live streams are getting me through, what have we got? The newborn stages with little sleep. My infant daughter. Appreciate you, Craig. Aaron, congratulations. I hope life is going well as a dad. I remember those non-sleep nights very, very well. Right now, mate, I'm in agony with my jaw, but I can't stop smirking and smiling because what a day. What a day. And we're travelling over to Liverpool tomorrow as well. Richard Hughes 007 having John in his crosshairs. Love it. Ricky Paul said, wedding week, Champions week, Wirtz week doesn't get any better than this. Yes, sir. And congratulations, wedding week. We love that. Don't remember getting the invite though, Ricky. Huh? Not good enough to show up at the wedding. Well, TOTT2KZ1's invited me to his. Carl invited me to his. Shame. Shame. Insert that gif with the bell. Shame. Jokes, mate, jokes. Well done. Congratulations to you. Christopher Hansen said, John found his wallet. Yep. After extensive searches, he did indeed find his wallet. Yep, absolutely. They blew the dust off. They got the crowbar. They opened it up. And it was like the scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Is that the one or Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? Whichever one they opened up and they're like, oh, oh. There we go. Right. Keep going. Adam said, if Wirtz gets done, do you think we sign a striker? I do. There was a report this morning that said Liverpool want Isak and Wirtz. Now, I'm not saying we get Isak, but the plan is still there. So let's wait and see what works. Right. Liam said, finally moving like a big club. Love it. Indeed we are. We'll pay whatever it takes, said Jaden Walker. We know that money's no object to John, mate. We know that. Just put the fee down, we'll pay it. Look, apparently the way this is going to be structured as well is one that will work for Liverpool. So the fee is going to be an astronomical one up front. But I think the way we see this one staggered out and the way it's going to be paid, it'll be amortized over 4 or 5 years, whatever length the contract is. I would imagine Liverpool are going to be trying to get Wirtz to sign minimum of a 5-year deal. Stevie Boy said, Wirtz, Alvarez, Salah 21 incoming. It looks that way, my man. What a start to this window, by the way. Frimpong in. Wirtz very close to the here we go. Leaders in the race for Kirkes. If we can get Canade on a new deal at centre-back and bring in a centre-back, then, ladies and gentlemen, what is the future like? It is going to be very bright and very promising. Also, we know that Jurgen Klopp is going to be there on Sunday as well. We know that Alan Hansen is going to be presenting the Premier League trophy. And I believe that the Owen McVeigh Foundation were asked to take part in it as well, which is an absolutely beautiful sentiment from the club. Sincerely, wow. Well done. Honestly, the Owen McVeigh Foundation, I'm sure you're aware of the work that they do and the sad story behind it, but it's just a very, very good call from the club. So well done on that one. Let's keep going. Football Edits Daily said, Craig, Frimpong confirmed, Kirkes possibly joining, Wirtz 90% done, Arsenal no trophies, United lost the UEFA. Does life get any better? Yep, because Spurs showed Manchester City what a parade looks like today. Did you see it? Spurs fans out in North London in their numbers showing up to celebrate the Europa League. But there is good news, United fans. I'm not joking, there is good news. I can exclusively say to you that the barbecue is still going ahead. There's no joke intended there. The end of season barbecue is still going ahead. You know, is it because John already bought is it because Radcliffe already bought the sausages? I don't know. I can't speak to that. But it is still going ahead. So, you know, bring your own sauce and all that. Right, Russ. Thanks for the money, John. T-shirts incoming. Well, you know, we may have to have a new range of, you know, John Founder's wallet. I'm over the moon with it. Genuinely, I've always said to everyone, I don't want to have any reason to moan about the owners or anybody else. I want to just celebrate Liverpool having a squad that we think can go and compete for the big trophies. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a squad that Liverpool will be able to go and compete for those big trophies year in, year out, and not have to weaken our team too much when we do make changes. It is a really, really bright, exciting start to the summer. And don't let anybody piss in your cornflakes because you should be smiling ear to ear right now. The wife is liking the effect this has on my pants, said Wesley. I would ask you for proof, but, you know, we're going to say no on that one. Add Kirkes, Hato and swap Nunes for Oshiman and it's a dream. Ryan said, if we want it done quick, what defines quick? I don't know, ask my missus. She could define quick for you. You know, I'm honest. Right. Angus said, someone wake me up, I have to be dreaming. Thank you, Mitchell, appreciate you. F off Bayern, he's a cop-out now. There's the makings of a song in there, isn't there? F off Bayern, he's a cop-out now. Fuck off Bayern, he's a cop-out now. Stick that in your pipe and smoke a cane. Right, Patrick said, who can hear Arteta and United fans crying? Oh, did you see him last night? Oh, lads, I'm not even joking. He was trying to justify a good season with no trophies. He was trying to say, if we look back over the history of our club and we look back over the last amount of years, if we can't celebrate a good season, what can we celebrate? Look, Arteta, you absolute fucking fraud. You only really become worth celebrating when you put the trophies in the trophy cabinet. Whatever you need to tell the deluded Arsenal fan base that makes you feel better, my Lego-headed friend, you be you. But winners define good seasons by silverware, Mikel. But if you need to make yourself and your little cult following feel better, have at it, my man. Right, Alex Cooper said, it's nice of Frimpong to bring his mate with him to Liverpool. Yeah, and we did wonder, was he going to play a part in it? And as you can see there from Paul Joyce's post earlier on, which maybe you haven't heard it, I'll read it back out to you. He said that, where are we? Come on, open up. Wirtz, close friends with Frimpong. They've sat beside each other in the dressing room, and Frimpong used to give Wirtz lifts into training before he could drive. That link-up would make a move less daunting for the talented youngster. Right. Forest ban Neville from the stadium for the Chelsea game. Oh, meow. Shots fired. Right. I wish we could ban Neville from the airwaves so we don't have to listen to him. Kirkes, I need Kirkes news. Not today, Gary. Not today. Today is International Florian Wirtz Day, don't you know? We'll have International Kirkes Day soon, but don't you worry, mate. This is the one. This is the difference maker, ladies and gentlemen. This is that generational talent that we've all been waiting for. Make no mistake about it. He just turned 22. His whole career still ahead of him, and he's putting up ridiculous numbers already. This is going to be a groundbreaking signing for the club. Right, what have we got? If we get Wirtz, do you think that's all of our kitty gone? No. And the reason I don't is because Liverpool look like they could bring in as much as £150 million from sales. And that money, I think, will be also reinvested into the squad. So, look, I'm not going to sit here and say to you, I will believe 100% that after we get Wirtz sorted out, that we're going to go out there and drop 120 million on a striker. I haven't got a clue. But I do know that the intent is there, that Liverpool are looking to move quickly. And with this one, want to get it over the line. There was talk that it all wanted to be done before he went and met up with the German national team because they knew the pressure would be piled on from the Bayern family. Now, Liverpool are moving quickly to make sure there are no hiccups. Right, let's keep going. Craig, what a day. Wirtz to LFC, Bruno to Al Hilal, or Bayern. Bayern are interested in Bruno as well. Bayern are already starting to go down through the list, by the way, of replacements. You can see them being posted far and wide. And none of them, they're talking about Rafa Leão as a potential option. They're talking about Matoma as a potential option. But you know who they're not talking about? Flow Rider, Mr. Florian Wirtz, because he's not going to Bayern. Zoshim said, Craig, when will Kirkes deal be done? So to the best of my understanding, my friend, there hasn't been an agreement on the transfer fee yet. I'm not saying there won't be, but as of right now, to the best of my understanding, the player, absolutely happy to come to Liverpool. Wages and stuff won't be an issue, but they do have to agree that fee with Bournemouth. And I think you can see that deal's sitting there, waiting to be done, but we're moving quickly for Wirtz here, and we've got Frimpong done as well, and we haven't even finished the season. Frimpong will be officially unveiled on the 1st of June when the window opens. Confirmation from that on Paul Joyce as well. I can't stop smiling. Honestly, lads, I can't stop smiling. What a day. And as you can see, we've gone past 315,000 subscribers as well. 11 million views now. 11 million in the last 30 days. Thank you all, because it's down to you, like I've always said. Our community finally starting to be, well, discovered by more and more people, and they see the type of people we have in here every night, chatting, having fun, enjoying it. That's down to you guys. Big up all of you. Because it's not down to me. It's not down to Connor. Always swear by this. It is because of you and how kind, how friendly, and how nice you all are to each other and to other people that come in. So big up yourselves as always. Right. Do you think he'd want to stay if they want Ten Hag? No. Genuinely, I'm surprised here. I did think that he would probably stay in Germany. I wanted to believe he was going to come to Liverpool, but I was cautiously optimistic over the last few weeks. Tonight, though, everything changed. As the day went on, you know, you see one thing and you're like, okay, that could be just one man's opinion. Then you see another, and then all the big hitters come out. And then, well, all hell's broken loose in the Liverpool fandom world. Let's keep going. Would it be cheaper just to buy Bayer Leverkusen? Now, stop it. 50 plus 1 and all that. Adzer, and by the way, thank you to everyone for all the super chats and comments. I promise you I'm not just going to read super chats. I am going to get into your comments soon, but I have to get through these ones before I forget. Do let us know, though, how you're feeling about this one. Let's do a poll, shall we? Let's do a poll, because I think we could get close to the first 95, 96% poll. So let me just ask this one. This is going to be hopefully the biggest no-brainer question ever. So the question is, are you happy with Wirtz joining? Come on now. The only ones that are going to vote no on this one are going to be non-Liverpool fans. And absolutely, I understand where you're coming from. Right, where are we at? Adzer said, Kirkes, Frimpong, Wirtz, all before we've lifted the league. Where has John found his wallet? Santino, thank you, my man, for gifting 5 memberships. Really, really kind of you. And congrats to everyone that's just gotten those memberships. I'm very happy this worked out for me, because if this had happened tomorrow, I'd have been up shit creek, because I'm travelling to Liverpool tomorrow, and then we've got a bit of a drive ahead of us as well down to Wigan after that. So for me, absolutely delighted this all happened today. Right, Joe said, Liverpool Galacticos. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But in the right way, you know. We're paying transfer fees. Money's no object at FSG, don't you know, sir? Right, Brookie said, if we can't get Isak, we should look at João Pedro. Well, we are. João Pedro has definitely been somebody who Liverpool have been running the rule over for, well, a few seasons now. Still some mix around there on the price. Some people say 60, some say 30. I've seen 100. Truth is, I don't know, Brookie, what the plan is for a centre forward. Is this the centre forward plan? This is something that we've been trying to figure out. And I haven't even gotten into Arne Slot firing shots towards Trent either, because I will get to that in a few minutes. Right, Liam said, 20th title on the way. As a fan base, we have been through the verts of time, but could be back on the verge of a golden era. I love it. I love a good pun, me. I love it. Keep them coming, Limo. Well played. The legend, our Arsenal supporting friend, with the curtains closed, no doubt, in North London today, bro, huh? Trophy parade, but not an Arsenal one. You're always a good sport, though. You said, greetings. I'm hoping to finish the season strong, as I imagine you are looking forward to seeing what happens next season, where you see United next season. Well, they still apparently have the money to go out there and sign, what's-his-face, Cunha. After that, there's talk that maybe there's 100 million, but they're going to have to rip up that squad. No choice. Garnacho could be gone. Bruno Fernandes looks like he's gone. I don't know what's going to happen to United next year, mate. Honestly, I don't. Looks as if you guys, i.e. Arsenal, are moving towards Sesko. Sesko, Gyökeres has always been the 2 front-runner names there for Arsenal. And today it looks like they're moving towards Sesko. Matty Gorman, if we get Wirtz over the line, I will give the owners all the praise. Now, let's get Alvarez, Kirkes and Stiller. Yeah, so normally when I go on to do our live shows, something about FSG gets said in the first few sentences. Something where, you know, I kind of mock them for not spending. Sunday, it's going to be very different. I'm going to have to come on stage with the Premier League trophy, put it down and say, thank you, John. Thank you very much. Genuinely, I'm buzzing. This is exactly what I wanted. And I'm sure everybody else feels similarly. Lauren said, Arsenal can keep Zubamendi. We'll have Wirtz, thanks. Yes, I forgot about the Zubamendi thing. Genuinely, I think I mentioned I forgot about it last night as well, Lauren. Definitely feels a world away from missing out on Caicedo, from missing out on Lavia, from missing out on Bellingham, from missing out on Zubamendi. We've just gone and brought Wirtz. That'll do. I will take all that previous heartache and pain, put it in a little box, and now celebrate. Brad said, Slot on his recent press conference was the most amazing thing I've ever watched. By the way, hope to see Sunderland beat Sheffield United tomorrow. Did you guys hear what Arne Slot said in his press conference? Let me read it out to you. Let me read this out to you. Now, if you watch the early video we put out today, you will have seen it, but this is some serious stuff. So, Arne Slot speaking about Trent Alexander-Arnold. This is what he had to say. He's going to leave anyway, so why not? It might be the first gift I can give Alonso. I wasn't completely happy with every single minute he was on the training ground. In my opinion, there were certain moments he could do more, to put it mildly. I told him he's a much better defender than people think, but you don't show it all the time. So, apparently, wasn't pulling his weight on the training ground as much as he should have. Apparently, Arne Slot has been, well, telling a few home truths about Trent and to Trent. And I am very much here for that, Arne. Look, is it a coincidence that you bring in an Anfield Agenda lookalike and he's out there calling it like it is? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But the answer is no, Craig. No, it isn't. Bit of baldness and everything becomes good. Breath. Next. Here we go. John Corrigan said, if Trent wasn't regretting his decision, he surely is now. Future is looking so bright for us now. Exciting times ahead. There has to be something in his mind now, thinking, if only. There has to be. I know he's getting to go over to play for No Trophy FC this year, but he must be looking at it going, oh, shit. Because this is the big summer that we've been told to look forward to. Credit where it's due as always. Right. Big Baddie Baller said, come on FSG, finally showing their intent to be dominant, which is what we all want really. Absolutely. 100%, John. I've never wanted or had a desire to moan about the owners. I just felt like we had to because they weren't pulling their weight. Now, well, something's changed. Let me ask you guys an honest question. Do you think this has something to do with the fact that one, Arne's done really well, and that Hughes and Edwards are together? Because I wonder, was it really Jurgen who didn't want? Like, was Jurgen going full Arsene Wenger and maybe thinking, no, I'm happy with what I have, and we don't need to go out there and splurge as much? Or was it the owners maybe feeling a little bit more relaxed now and seeing exactly what's possible under Arne? Really would love to know your thoughts on why you think this sudden change of expenditure, probably the right word. Ragnar, how are you, dude? Confirmed FSG have found the end of the rainbow. They have, and I've told my fellow leprechaun to make sure that when they do show up, that they get given the funds necessary. New to the channel, but really like the content. Appreciate you. Really do, Hidden. Thank you. If you are, hit that subscribe button. Drop a like as well, my man. But thank you so much and welcome to our community. Right. Total Eclipse. So, Craig, looking back at what the club are doing now and how they're moving, the fact they've re-signed VVD, Salah and are moving crazy, do you think Trent's regretting his decision? I hope he is, because he should be. We've always thought he was going to regret that decision in the future. But looking around right now, yes, he's going over to play with Mbappe and his Bay, Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. and whatnot, but he doesn't get to play with Florian Wirtz. He doesn't get to play again with Virgil and Mohamed Salah. He doesn't get to play with Jeremy Frimpong. He doesn't get to play with maybe Milos Kerkez. Come on now. What a day. What a day. Right. 1 goal action per 90. 47% shots on target. 2-footed with intuitive understanding of space before turning 22. Biggest Premier League move since CR7, said Giannis. It's right up there, mate. And look, to throw a few more stats into what you've mentioned, I was looking on Sky earlier on, and they were talking about his stats since the start of last season. 23 assists in the Bundesliga in that time, ranking him first. Final third passes completed, 1,790, ranking him second. Take-ons attempted, 313 of them, ranking first in the Bundesliga. Through balls, 49, first in the Bundesliga. But here's my favourite one. Possession won in the final third. Because you know we love a high press. You know that we play a heavy press from the front. 71 times he's won possession pressing in the final third, which ranks him first in the Bundesliga. So absolutely incredible, mate, as you've mentioned. And all just having turned 22 as well. Only turned 22, I think, in the last week or two. John Edinger, how are we, dude? Welcome in. Said, wow. Great Memorial Day weekend for me and my fellow USA members and bank holiday for the UK. Up the Reds. Yep, no bank holiday here in Ireland, but again, bank holiday for all of our friends in the UK. Now, live show. What we saying? Just spoke to Steve Bland earlier on by a message. Him, Jack, Chris, all ready to go for our show on Wednesday. But Sunday, title celebration party, musical act booked in. I'll be on stage at about 8:15. Show starts at 7:30. If you haven't got your tickets, honestly, get cracking. It's going to be one hell of an event. It is an all ages event. And again, cannot wait to come and see you all. Right, Jay Bless, much love, my man. Darwin boy, much love to you as well. Ryan Bennett said, when you used to stream on Twitch, me and one of the mods were having a laugh and you banned me for no reason and I despised it, but I'm starting to love you again. Look, mate, I will say this to you, Ryan. I don't remember the incident, but do I always get it right? Absolutely not. Do I misinterpret stuff on occasion? Absolutely, mate. Am I always open to being wrong? I am. And if I was wrong, I apologise. I am what we say in Ireland, a narky git. Sometimes, mate, I misread intentions. Sometimes, if I'm in a bad mood, that comes through. And if that was the case, dude, I apologise. But I do appreciate your understanding and coming back in, my man. Right, the detective. Frimpong, potentially Kirkes and Wirtz. Who else do you think we need? And do you get to eat 4 pieces of broccoli? By that I mean win the league and the Champions League. No, no more broccoli. Not happening again. Never. Not happening, my man. Right, Luke said supposedly Edwards is doing the Wirtz deal. Would make sense. Would make sense. But I do want to talk about Richard Hughes a little bit because there's been lots of glowing praise coming his way as well. Was it Falk who said it? No. Somebody was talking about Richard Hughes being very impressive in all of this as well. Let me just check through my notes. So, Romano said, the discussions between Liverpool and Bayer are very advanced. So those discussions about the transfer fee, very advanced, working close to the deal. Wirtz is committed to Liverpool, said Fabrizio Romano. Chris Bascom said Liverpool have opened talks with Bayer Leverkusen for the potential club record signing of Florian Wirtz. The Premier League champions have made a formal approach for a player valued at 125 million Great British pounds. There remains much negotiating to be done on the fee, but Liverpool's move is the clearest indication of growing confidence a deal can be completed. David Ornstein has said, Liverpool in talks with Bayer Leverkusen to sign Florian Wirtz. Communication channels open since the Frimpong deal and ongoing for the number 10. If agreement reached, would be a club record acquisition and most expensive German player ever. The 22-year-old wants LFC. I'd like to think somewhere Wirtz is flicking through Liverpool socials and maybe we'll see how excited we all are about him. And Florian, I will give you a free ticket to the show on Sunday, mate. That's, as nice as I can be. 1 free ticket. I will give you 1 half-price ticket. I will give you 20% off a ticket. In all honesty, though, I do wonder. I often wonder when players are linked with Liverpool and the transfer talk starts, do players tune in and look on social media? Because genuinely, I bet you they do. I bet you they look to see how excited a fan base is about potentially bringing them in, or what it would mean to a fan base. And some clubs have that sense of arrogance and entitlement, but we at Liverpool, well, we're very grateful for these type of things and for these type of legends coming in. So I bet you himself and his family are very happy with what they're seeing around Liverpool circles. Right, what's this one? Richard Hughes, the Liverpool sporting director, will lead the negotiations and look to drive Leverkusen down, having established a line of communication with the German club over the £30 million deal for Jeremy Frimpong. It will be interesting to see what the final number is here, because it was always believed they'd be a bit more open to favourable terms for a club outside of the Bundesliga. And as has been pointed out by many journalists today, the relationship at Liverpool and Leverkusen is good and an open one. And maybe we see business going the other way in the future. Maybe a player or two from Liverpool could go across there. As we know, there's been interest in the Bundesliga for the likes of Jarell Kwanzaa, for the likes of Harvey Elliott, in the past for Tyler Morton. So do keep an eye on this space. And I think McConnell at one point, if I'm not mistaken. Right, where are we? Trying to play catch up. This one, Jaden said domination incoming. Is the Wirtz news for the rest of the league? Sorry, I'm playing catch up with these puns as well. New update from Ornstein just dropped. If we land Alvarez and another centre back, I'm handing my girlfriend over to John. No questions asked. Come on now. What if he ruins her for you? What if he performs at such a level that she doesn't want to look at you again? It's a risky game you're playing there, my man. Right, Conan Pugh said, did you see the breakdown of what happened at Bayern Space? Apparently he was unimpressed with company. You should read it on the stream. I did. I read it earlier on. And you know what? Seeing as how you brought it up, my friend, I will read it again. Let's read it out to you one more time. Is it this one? It is indeed. So, the reasons apparently, according to Bayern Space, was Wirtz felt underwhelmed and confused when he spoke to company. The Bayern manager couldn't present him a clear tactical plan. Florian was not at all impressed with Bayer Leverkusen or Bayern Munich's training facilities, which haven't been renewed in about 30 years. When he got asked about improvements, the board apparently told him the planned upgrade is currently on hold, which irritated him more. In comparison, Liverpool's new and modern training complex made a completely different impression, showing him a club that's structured well for the future. And of course, he trained at the AXA. After we played Leverkusen in the Champions League, Alonso and his squad did train at the AXA the next morning. Romano unpinned Trent and pinned Wirtz to Liverpool. I know, it's just so exciting, Alex, isn't it? Right, do keep hitting that subscribe button now, folks, if you're in. And of course, the like as well. Let's smash the record for likes. Keep hitting that button. What a night. Oh, what a night. Chris Davies said, never in a million years that I think Wirtz would choose us. I choose you. Come on. Tell me you get that reference. Come on. Connor's somewhere now nodding approvingly because I've used the Simpsons reference. We're finally acting like a big club. Eddie said, I will believe it when I see it. Eddie, I'm as big a cynic as you, my friend, at times. You know that. We have similar thought patterns on these things. But with this, my man, it just seemed like it's destined to happen. I'm telling you, all the vibes I'm getting on this one are very, very, very good after those updates today. Because all that everybody was waiting on here was the nod from the player to where he wanted to go. You know what actually worried me the most, Eddie? I started worrying last night that he was going to stay another year at Leverkusen, because that was being discussed a bit as well. Donna said Craig should be employed by FSG, CEO Craig. Be nice to even just be acknowledged by the club at some point, you know. We are fairly prominent now at this point, I would say, in Liverpool fan circle. So it'd be nice to just get that nod at some point of, you know, they exist. Any mention of the fee for Wirtz, or is it 150 million euro? Well, that's the starting point, is 150 million euro, or about 125 million pound. But as was just mentioned by, was it Chris Bascom or David Ornstein? He said, no, it wasn't David Ornstein. It was one before that. Yeah, it was this one. The Premier League champions have made a formal approach for a player valued at 125. There remains much negotiation to be done on the fee, but Liverpool's move is the clearest indication of growing confidence a deal can be completed, said Chris Bascom. Richard Hughes, the Liverpool sporting director, will lead the negotiation and look to drive Leverkusen down, having established a line of communication with the German club over the 30 million deal for Jeremy Frimpong. Matt Travis said, lifting the Premier League trophy and signing Wirtz in the same week. Am I dreaming? What a time to be a Liverpool fan. Have a great event. Much love, my brother. Thank you. I can only imagine what the vibe in the city of Liverpool is going to be like this weekend. Obviously, everybody's going to be enjoying Sunday, the Premier League title lift, the parade on Monday, the Wirtz news dropping. It's just an incredible week. It's one of those weeks that I think we should just cherish. These don't come around very often. These are the types of moments that I'm so happy to be able to share them with you guys. You know, whatever part of the world you're currently in, to get to come on and share this news with you all, it's incredible. It just reminds us what a special club we all support. Do you think we'd move so fast with signings? No, not this fast. I thought we would get one over the line. I thought we'd want to make a statement as the window opened. But did I think that things would progress this quickly? Whereas we've got one in the bag, another one that's edging closer, and we haven't even ended the season yet. I didn't expect things to move this quickly, John, but I'm very happy that they are. Hippo Critic said, Delap for 30 million. Possible now, you think? No, I don't, because I think he's always been going to Chelsea in my mind. I know there's been loads of reports about United, but our understanding is Chelsea is his priority. And I think today it's been confirmed now that he is available to talk to other clubs. I'm sure that was reported somewhere today. New t-shirt. There's the money, John. Well, that's what the original one was supposed to say, Foxy, but the printers only made a mess of it, didn't they, with the where's the money, John? No, it was supposed to be. I was supposed to be part of this unveiling. That's why the hoodies were supposed to say, there's the money, John, but, you know. Hope you're all well, Foxy. Right, Tony said, sir, you are a legend. Thank you. Appreciate that, Tony. I'm not, but thank you, my man. Owen Doyle said, Wirtz the crack, absolutely buzzing with the news. Go on the pool, keep up the excellent content. I will, if you continue to keep watching, my man. You make me that promise, and I'll promise you to keep going. I'm actually sweating here. I've taken that many painkillers today for my jaw that I'm actually sweating. You know, would you ever get to that point? You have so much caffeine and painkillers that, yeah, I'm feeling no pain at the minute, but I'm sweating like, well, a fat man sitting here under the lights, probably. Corbin said, Frimpong, Kirkes, Wirtz and a centre-back. Are you happy? Frimpong, Kirkes, Wirtz and a centre-back. Are you happy? Yes, I am. I would still think there'd be another bit of business done in the front line if we lose somebody, but yes, that would make me very happy. I can't wait to knock out Real in next season's Champions League, said Oliver Hunt. Yeah, they won't want to draw the Reds, will they? They'll be worried, and rightly so. I mean, at this point, there better not be a bookmaker that doesn't have us favourites to win the league next year, because Wirtz coming in is one hell of a statement. I saw reports that the fee was 126 million. It's 150 million euro is the starting point, but I don't believe as of right now that there has been an agreement on the exact number or how it's structured. That's what they're talking about at the minute. The FSG hate is frustrating to me. They didn't spend in previous seasons because the financial situation of the club didn't permit it. That's just not true, though, Tom. That genuinely isn't true. Now, look, I don't want this to get into a negative today in any way, because it is a positive day for everybody, far and wide. FSG, in my humble opinion, deserved every bit of criticism and critique that they've gotten, because they sat on their hands and we didn't strengthen from a position of strength previously. But, my friend, that's the past. What's happened has happened. Nobody can change that. I can't change it. You can't change it. Let's just be grateful for where we are now, because certainly that's my thinking on that anyway. But I do, and I will always say that I think they deserved every bit of critiquing that came their way from me or anybody else. Just an opinion. Let's not fall out today, though, of all days, my man. David Massett said, great news. I wasn't going to have a drink till tomorrow for my daughter's wedding. That's gone out the window. You know, she'll understand, David. You're right. Have one for me as well. Leverkusen lost Alonso, Wirtz and Frimpong and got Ten Hag. Also, is Ten Hag going to Leverkusen? Is that confirmed? I haven't seen that news. Oh my God, if you're a Leverkusen fan right now, how are you feeling? Wow. Elliott's going to go get more game time. He probably will go to get more game time. We've been talking about that quite a bit. It does look like Harvey will be moving on, but again, wherever he goes, I hope he continues to develop and do well, because we know what a talent Harvey Elliott is. Breaking news, Man United in talks with 6 new players. Hugh, Pugh, Barney McGrew, Kubert, Dibble and Grubb. There you go. And they probably still can't afford them, Kelly. Probably not. But they do have the barbecue to look forward to because that is still going ahead. What Bayern want? Why did Bayern want Wirtz? They have Musiala. I know it always felt a bit greedy because they do have an incredible group of players there, as you've mentioned, but they just don't have Florian Wirtz. Na. Ben said, Norwich fan here, and I'm genuinely happy for you. Thank you, Ben. Kind of you, man. Really appreciate that. I'm honestly feel like I'm walking on a cloud today, Ben. It's one of those rare speechless moments as a fan. What price do you think we get Wirtz for? Yeah, that's a good question, actually. What price do you think we get Wirtz for? I'm going to say we'll see something like 100 million plus add-ons. So I'm going to say a total package may come to 115, 120 pounds and 100 million up front or 100 million guaranteed with clauses or something like that. That's my guess. But we don't know the exact number yet. And let's hope that they do reach that agreement. I believe that they will because Liverpool have been serious about making sure that that money was available. Right. Zerki Afik said, Frimpong, Kirkes, Wirtz, Hato, Striker and Ibu stays. I mean, I wouldn't say no. My friend, I wouldn't say no to that. Think of where we've been since Klopp left. So I remember somebody the other day said, what was it they said? They were talking about somebody inheriting a team. I think it was Ruben Amorim. And talking about the team he inherited and why, Klopp inherited a much better team. And then a Liverpool fan posted Klopp's first Liverpool 11. And it was far from the type of level that we're at now, I can tell you that. So yes, Jurgen built us to this point. Arne came in this season, continued it on. And now we are seeing the pulling power of Liverpool Football Club. When you get a player of the talent of Florian Wirtz wanting to leave his homeland at a young age to come and play for Liverpool, that's a good day. Bo Duquette said, Wirtz is a generational talent. Let that sink in. Oh, it's sunken in, my man. It's sunken in. And yes, finally we get that generational talent. I think we break the British transfer record, so Jaden Walker. It looks as if that could be the case, yeah. I mean, all the journalists report now that have been talking about transfer records being broken. What's this one Connor sent me? Hang on, let me just drag this up. So there you go. Connor getting into the cartoon world now. John finds his wallet May 23rd, 2025. So there we go. We're getting into the cartoon business now, Crosby, are we? Cornan Pugh said Wirtz and Alvarez equals skeleton key against low blocks. Definitely. Even without the Alvarez part, Wirtz will help us unpick those low blocks. If you look through the stats we mentioned earlier on, yeah, it's pretty clear. This is that generational talent. Just to go back to this from Bo, he's right. I said the other week that if Man City got him, I would make Man City favourites for everything next season. If we got him, I would make us favourites. And it looks like we're getting him. So, makes us favourites, right? I'm going broke with the Adidas kits and now Wirtz. Same. And the Adidas bringing out that 1996 retro stuff as well for Liverpool. That's going to be a huge seller for them. Still got some worries that FSG will annoy Leverkusen to try bring down the price, but willing to praise them if not. I think at this point, the parameters of roughly what we're all talking about numbers-wise should probably have been discussed. When Liverpool touched base, they would have asked, what type of money, if he decides to move on, Leverkusen would be looking for. And so we're in the right ballpark. I've wanted to become a member for a long time. With all the content you get from you and the great news today, I felt it was time. We all love you. Thank you, my man. Honestly, always feel really humbled by these type of kind words, mate, because I'm just a normal working class fella that stumbled into this, has, spent 7 or 8 years building it up along with Connor, and to be here tonight talking to 6,000 plus people who are live in the chat, is incredible, and I still pinch myself to believe it's actually real, much like this Wirtz deal. Right, Colin Brooks, how are we, my man? Hope we're all well. Right, so did the Rodrigo and Gordon story fizzle? I don't know about the Rodrigo stuff. I've never really seen anything strongly linking us with him. Where he ends up, I don't know. Arsenal's name has been interested, so do keep an eye on that one. Yeah, I don't know where we're at with regards to that. Honestly, I don't know where he's at. Alvarez, though, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what way the negotiations go about Darwin Núñez, because Atleti want him. And what I can't say is, I don't know what the thought process is now for Liverpool on a striker. I don't know if he is the striker, Wirtz, if you get me. As in, are we going to operate differently? Are we going to maybe keep Diogo Jota, have Wirtz as an option, knowing maybe that Jadon Danns is coming through? Are we going to see Liverpool change and tweak the system a little bit? Is Mohamed Salah going to come inside centrally and Florian Wirtz go out wide? I don't know, but I'm very interested to find out. Ash said, can't believe we've taken our seat at the top table for the transfer window. Amazing what can happen when we act from a position of strength. Take no FSG. Well, look, yes. These are the moments that you've got to strike. When you are at your most appealing, these are the times as a club where you've got to go out there and show that we aren't resting on our laurels, and to give all the credit to everyone that's due it. Hughes, Edwards, FSG, the recruitment team, the scouts, the data analysts, Will Spearman, everybody else. They all deserve their slice of the humble pie from a lot of us, and rightly so. And I'm not afraid to give it. I'm not afraid to eat it, as you can see. Wesley said, I'm going broke with the Adidas kits and now Wirtz. Yep, you're not on your own there, Wesley. I'm absolutely going to be broke with the Adidas stuff coming in. Where do I have those kits? I don't have them. Maybe they're in my WhatsApp with Connor. Hang on. There was a bit of an update on the kits, and I wanted to show you them, so bear with me. So we do have an image of the green kit that I can bring up here and show you. So that one has been shown or doing the rounds a little bit today. So let me know what you think on that one. That's the green one that we've spoken about before. But where was the home ones? The home of the away one. We were shared this a few days ago. 1 second. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, there's also this, which I'm sure you've seen. 1 second. There's also Mo in the long sleeve version of the home shirt that's been doing the rounds. So you've got the green one, and then you've got Mo there in the red one. And where's the... here they are. Okay, this one. So these look like the two kits. 1 second. There you go. So they look like the home and the away kit for next season. They're what we believe they're going to look like. And, I mean, I'd be a buyer of that red one 100%. And I will absolutely be a buyer for that green one as well. But, yeah, that red one's looking sexy. And the long sleeve version of Mo looked very good as well. Right, where are we? Oh, so Stuart Downing is coming in as a staff member, is he? All right. So Stuart Downing makes surprise Liverpool return the new staff role. Former Liverpool winger Stuart Downing has made a surprise return as part of the backroom staff 4 years after announcing his retirement as a player. Mad. He spent 2 seasons at Liverpool between 2011 and 2013, but failed to establish himself. And there we go. So now Stuart Downing coming back as well. I mean, they're putting the band together. Right, did I miss another one? 1 second. I hate when I miss super chats from anyone, so let me just scroll back up here. Where's this one? Okay, this one, yeah. Ryan Johnson said, Alonso's stories of Anfield made Wirtz fall in love. Stevie boy, our captain had no doubts about it being a big summer. Yeah, he did say he trusted everybody involved. Again, though, spare a thought for how Trent must be feeling looking at this. Because, you know, between that and what Arne Slot said in his presser today, I'm still astounded by Slot saying that, but I absolutely love that he did. Patrick said after that we should definitely look out for a new centre-back, as the last one we got was Ibu 4 years ago. 100% we're looking for a centre-back. It may even be 2 if we lose a centre-back, but absolutely, mate, centre-back's on the list. I've never been this optimistic about signing, said Steve Aldersley. Nor have I. Right, let's end this poll and we'll get into another poll. So, are you happy with Wirtz joining? We've had almost 5,000 votes on this. Oh, Brian's just dropped in and gifted 50 memberships. I just noticed that out of the corner of my eye as well. Think of this, Craig. To Frimpong going attacking midfield, apparently Conor Bradley right back up front. Salah Diaz with Maka to name a few. I'm excited. Mitchell, so many options, my man. So many options. Right. So we've had over 5,000 votes. Are you happy about Wirtz joining? 97% of over 5,000 people who voted said they are happy, and the other 3% are obviously not Liverpool fans. But that is probably the biggest number we've recorded in a poll, one-sided. So well done. And thank you for your honesty. Any other poll ideas, by the way, you want to know? Throw them into the chat. Jaden said, FSG, you did it, baby. Credit where it's due, my man. Credit where it is due. If they get this one over the line, breaking the British transfer record as well, it deserves to be celebrated and they deserve to be credited. Big fan here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Thanks for always keeping me updated. My absolute pleasure, Trevor. And thank you, bro, for being with us. Do appreciate you. So, Carl, who's the better player, Wirtz or Bellingham? Bellingham's a fraud, obviously. Everybody knew that, mate. I mean, this was all part of a long con from me, you know. Oh, hype up Bellingham. Oh, he's all great and all. Then send him off to Madrid where, you know, he falls apart and we bring in Wirtz, you know. I was thinking ahead. No, honestly, who's a better player? Probably Wirtz, in all honesty. Bellingham, at his very best, is a game changer as well. But let me say it this way, Carl. For what we need, in the way that we need it, and somebody mentioned it earlier on for the unpicking of the lock with the low block, I would say Wirtz would suit that situation better. But Bellingham is a class player. There's no denying that either. Becoming human. And I hope to become a human someday. You know, obviously not right now. I'm a machine. Hoping to become human with AI. Wirtz, McAllister, and maybe Alvarez. I can smell a bundle of Premier Leagues, Champions League, and Ballon d'Ors. Yes. Yes. And yes. Sheriff Torchwood said, I'm glad that Wirtz has joined Liverpool. Well, he hasn't joined yet, my man. He hasn't joined yet. But I'm so glad that Florian is a red. I'm so glad. Insert something about head. Off the post said, we're talking like it's done. Just a bit nervous. No, I get it. I get it, mate. I'm nervy as well. I want it done. I want it all to be completed. But, you know, put it this way. We're in a way better position than we were yesterday. And everything looks like it's trending in the right direction. But you are right. Until we get the here we go or the official announcement from either, there is still room for a catastrophe. So I do understand your cautious optimism. Worried about the homegrown quota, said Liam. Do we need an English centre-back? Well, bringing in Frimpong will help with that. He is one player that Liverpool... I think last year Liverpool had registered 7 of the maximum or of 8 homegrown players. So you have 8 homegrown players, 17 non-homegrown players if you want to have your full 25-man squad. I think we had 7 last year. So Frimpong will come in. He will be classed as a homegrown player. And then it may depend on who leaves the club, of course. You know, Elliott, that'll be a homegrown player at the window if he goes. Kwanzaa would be similar. But we don't know who we bring in, right? So if we bring in, just say Mark Gay as an example, that would be another homegrown player in. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but the club will be aware of it. Excuse me, I'm getting the hiccups now. Right. Any more polls that we want to run? Any more questions? Any more uncertainty? I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, okay, I've got an idea. Right. So I'm going to ask you, do you think we should go for a striker? So we've got yes, no, and I'm going to say yes, but a cheap one. Right, so do you think we still go for a striker? Yes, no, or yes, but a cheaper one? So go on that. So there's two different options for yes. There's one for the likes of an Isak and Alvarez or a big money striker. And then are we going to go maybe for a cheaper one? What I mean by that as well is I'm unsure if this was instead of a forward or instead of a central striker. There was talk this morning, and I'll go through it for you, about Isak still being on the list. So let me go through that one. 1 sec, all the way back to this morning. My God, the amount of posts that we've sent back and forth today, this morning feels like a long, long time ago. Actually, on United, let's talk about this for a sec. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe was reportedly booed by club staff during a screening of the Europa League final. Own staff booing one of the owners. United great Norman Whiteside will not renew his season ticket at the club after being forcibly relocated, his wife has announced. So it just looks like United are going from one laughingstock incident to another. And there's a story from Graham Bailey that said, Nwaneri has not signed a new contract with Arsenal. Nwaneri and his camp have concerns about his future with Arsenal, and Liverpool are interested and are now aware of contract issues. What do we think on that one? Do we really think Liverpool could be in for Nwaneri? I'm not sure. But Graham Bailey has also said Liverpool are keen on deals for both Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak. Reds in a healthy financial position and could raise £150 million plus in sales. Neither deal straightforward, but Liverpool keen on a statement summer. Oh, lads. I don't even know what to say. Imagine that. Do you know what? I'd still prefer Alvarez. I'm not going to lie, I would. I'd still prefer Alvarez to Isak. Matthew said, I heard a few rumblings about Isak as well. Yep, they're certainly doing the rounds, mate. I don't think Newcastle are going to sell Isak. I really don't. And I do think Newcastle will get their Champions League spot. What do you think happens to Arteta now that Tottenham have won a trophy and they have nothing to equalise it? What should happen to Arteta, in my opinion, is one of two things. He should be either sacked or he should be told in no uncertain terms that unless he delivers one of the two big ones next year, i.e. the Premier League or the Champions League, that he's gone. And I know that sounds tough and I know that sounds callous, but let's be honest about this. Since he's come in, he won a trophy in his first season in the COVID FA Cup. Then he's won nothing, finished runners-up 3 years in a row, still makes out like they have a lot to celebrate, is delusional beyond the extreme. If I was a fan of Arsenal, I would very much be wanting him gone. I can't be more clear about it than that. You cannot profess to be a top club and accept 5 years of nothing. I'm sure the money from the Champions League and being back in has been great. Has he improved them? 100% yes. But I do believe his style of management and the way he goes about things has a limitation. And I think he's stopping them and holding them back. Genuinely do. So for me, when you've been given the likes of a Declan Rice, when you're going to be back with a Zubimendi, when you've been given the amount of money that he has to bring in other players, I think winning nothing in 5 years is unacceptable if you actually class yourself as a big club. Luke said, I feel Wirtz will be a false 9. Kyle said, do you reckon Wirtz spoke to Alonso about Liverpool prior to these negotiations? I would say so. You know, even when they were training at the AXA after we played Leverkusen, I would imagine that there were some conversations about what it was like to be there. You know, my big fear, Kyle, was that Madrid flogged Rodrigo and then maybe got in Wirtz's ear and we lost out there. That was something that I started to panic about yesterday, but right now it's looking pretty good. Regan Boyne, thank you for your super chat, my friend. Said, love the content, Craig. Thank you. Happy to see FSG listen to some fans form, being nearly ran out of the club a few years ago to spending money like we asked. Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up, Regan, because, this is what many of us wanted. And now it's being delivered. And they should be praised for that, absolutely. It would have been criminal to not back up winning the Premier League this year with a big window. It would have been an absolute joke. But it looks like they've stepped up. I don't know if it's the belief that they have in Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards. I don't know if they've been absolutely bowled over and impressed with Arne Slot. But what I do know is it's certainly a big window, and they've certainly put their hand in their pockets. And for that, I think we should all be grateful. Jokes aside, I don't regret a single thing I've said. I don't regret a single opinion I've given. I stand over everything I've said. In the same way I've always said, when they show that they're going to act like we're a big club, I will be on here praising them exactly like I have been doing today. Right. Colzer said, depends on the type of striker, I think. If the team is built around Wirtz, we need strikers with pace, not like Haaland. Agree. I'm not sure whether he's going to be our striking option or not. But I do know that he's going to give us another look. And I do know that one stat that keeps standing out to me is this one that I read out earlier on from Sky. And it is the possessions won in the final third of the pitch. In the Bundesliga, he ranks first with 71. And we know that there are teams in the Bundesliga with a crazy press. We know that Leipzig's whole model is built around the press as well. And for him to top that at 21, just turning 22 as well, he's going to fit in at Liverpool. Because that's what we want. We want pressing machines from the front. Remy, thank you, my friend. And for this one as well. I'm so happy to see you show some ambition. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, bro. Jack, I've heard Wirtz is better coming in off the left. Probably. And he may do that. He may come in off the left. Look, we have to talk about Diaz. Arne Slot was speaking a little bit about that today. Because he was asked about Diaz in Barcelona. So maybe this... Again, it's hard for us to know right now exactly what the intent is with Wirtz. Is it to operate as a false nine? Is it, as you've mentioned, to maybe drift in from the left? Is it to be another option if we wanted to go with two attacking midfielders, let's say, one that drops in and deep? Maybe, let's say, Szoboszlai goes a bit further forward, Wirtz drops back, vice versa. Or are we going to now see Dom shifted to the number 8 position? And also, Trent leaving probably means that Arne now feels a little bit more secure defensively on the right side with the options he has. And that's not a knock at Trent. Because, we always knew that with the attacking talent and threat of Trent, we were giving away a little bit something defensively. Not to slag him off as a defender. But maybe now he feels like the team is a little bit more assured and compact with the options of Bradley and Frimpong. And maybe now Szoboszlai to the right-hand side in that 8 position where he feels more settled. Daz, thank you for the super chat, my man. Guru said, I think we will go for Jonathan David on a free. I have to admit, mate, I haven't really kept track of the Jonathan David situation. I thought that he was looking likely to go to Serie A. Then I think Napoli pulled back a bit because of his wage demands. But I've no idea. I'd take Jonathan David now after bringing in a Florian Wirtz. I'd take a David, I'd take a João Pedro. I would. But I can't sit here and tell you that I know what's going to happen or not because I haven't got a clue. Right, where else are we at? Jay's Mighty Red Army said, even though FSC are spending money, I still want them out. Look, again, each to their own, my man. I've only ever wanted them to show ambition for the club and to back the managers properly. And we're getting that right now. So for me, as I sit here, like I've said, no regrets about what I've said in the past or the positions I've taken up. But I want to be fair. And for me, this is showing intent. And that's what I want. Owners that want to win. And this is what it looks like. So I'm happy. If we don't get a new striker, Wirtz will be a false 9. But if we do, where do you think he's going to play? Left wing, if Diaz leaves, or central attacking midfielder, and Dom will be a sub. Personally, I hope he'll be our number 9. Again, I think all the avenues that we've discussed there are possible. Left side coming in off the flank, potentially. As the false nine, potentially. As an attacking midfielder, potentially. But I don't think we're going to see Szoboszlai dropped. I don't. I do think that there will be a way both of those lads will get in the team. And imagine the pressing. Imagine the pressing if somehow, in some system, you get McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai and Wirtz into it. And then let's say you have Salah right and, I don't know, let's say Gakpo left as an example for now. That would be incredible. Absolutely incredible. And the press and the legs in that midfield, we are going to swarm all over teams. Wirtz and Szoboszlai. You can throw Jones in there as well because his counter press is fantastic. It's exciting. And when Arne said that we're going to put together a squad that will be able to compete on all fronts, he ain't lying with the way this is looking. Right. Could we maybe go 2 number 10s with Dom and a Wirtz? 2 10s. Then what are you going to do with McAllister? You know? And don't be saying that to me, Luke, because in my head now I'm starting to think, is there a world where Real Madrid come in for McAllister now? So let's just wait and see what the manager wants to do. Luke McMahon said, Craig, do you agree that this is a huge statement to the Premier League and Europe that we are here? You'll never walk alone. I love Wirtz. Brilliant. I'm so excited. Yeah. This is a we're going nowhere. This is a Manchester City. You went out and dropped 160 million in the winter window trying to rebuild. Well, fuck you. We're rebuilding properly from a position of strength. And also, remember, they wanted Wirtz. They also wanted Szoboszlai. And they've lost De Bruyne. And Wirtz was going to be the man they wanted to go big to replace De Bruyne. But he's probably looked at Manchester City the same way many of us look at Manchester City, which is it really all it's cracked up to be? Is it the shiny thing it looks like from the outside? Probably not. Just look at the stadium week in and week out. It's hollow. And they have the charges over their head. And they couldn't 100% say to him and his family that that's all going to go away. You don't want your brand attached to something like that. And these days, top football players are brands. You're not going to want to come in, have a huge move, one of the biggest of your career, maybe the biggest in English football history, and then a month or two later hear about these charges having been held and your reputation starts to go down the Swanee with it. What I'm seeing is panicking Guardiola. Guardiola now moaning about the possibility of his owners giving him too many players. It all just feels a little bit like the walls are closing in at the Etihad, and I am here for every goddamn second of it. Lewis Houston said, do you think Klopp was the reason we didn't spend? One of the reasons. Look, it's hard to think differently. When you look at this situation now, and you see a manager who's been brought in has won the league, and you see the money being made available. With Jurgen, he re-established us. He built us back up to where we are. He delivered their first league title in 30 years. He brought in a European Cup, 2 League Cups, FA Cup, Super Cup, Club World Cup. And I can't think that the owners wouldn't have wanted to back him the same way that they're willing to back Arne. So, again, I don't know anything here to be a fact, but you'd have to say something's changed. Whether that's that the owners are maybe always willing to pay some money and Jurgen looked at it and thought he was happy with what he has, or maybe their direction has changed and they've seen the travel of the transfer market and think, all right, well, the days of trying to be shrewd and all this stuff are over. You're going to have to act like a big club. So it's one of the two, I would say, mate, but it always felt like there was some sort of disagreement or butting of heads between Klopp and Edwards. And I don't think it was coincidental that Edwards came back in when Klopp was going. We may never know the whole ins and outs of it, but what I'll say to you is what I've said a few times. Some of the signings that we made under Jurgen Klopp I don't think would happen in an Edwards era. I don't think the Darwin Núñez signing would have happened because I don't think his body of work would have been enough to satisfy the statisticians and the analysts that he's proven himself on a big enough stage over a longer enough period of time. So that's a signing that I don't think we would have made if Hughes was at the club and Edwards was at the club. Some of the other ones, well, I think Szoboszlai was a sensible one. Grafenberg turned out to be a masterstroke. Maka as well. But look, it's not for me to say, but I would say it's possible. It's possible. I will never ever say anything negative about Jurgen Klopp. I love him. I love him dearly. I will always love him. But if he did have a fault, it might be stubbornness at times. And, you know, the whole... He just didn't seem to want to get dragged into that modern world of huge transfer fees for players. You could see it almost felt alien and uncomfortable to Jurgen and not what he wants football to be about. I can totally understand and appreciate that as well, but football landscape has shifted. Even just look at the growth of the game and the valuations of clubs since FSG came in and bought Liverpool to where football clubs are and are being valued at these days, and even the wages the players are now getting. The legend said, how do you think Spurs will do in the Champions League? It's hard to say without knowing who the coach is going to be, without knowing what signings they're going to make. I would say keep your eye on Ryan Cherky to Spurs, especially as Liverpool look like they're going for the Wirtz deal. So keep an eye on Spurs there. They may be a very interesting proposition to him. Yeah, it's hard to know. I think they'll get to the knockout stages of it. You know, I think they'll finish in the high enough positions to at least get into the playoff part for the knockouts. But tough to know without knowing the manager and the full squad. What about Dom in the false nine and Florian Wirtz in the 10? Everything's possible, my man, right now. We just don't know what's happening as Liverpool fans exactly in that regard. You know, I'm sure once it's agreed and Arna has a press conference or is interviewed, that's one of the first questions he's going to be asked is where can we expect to see Wirtz operate? Guru said, Klopp this year is Shankly, Slot this year is Paisley. Certainly looking that way. And let's keep going. Let's keep building up those stacks of trophies. Let's open that gap up between us and Manchester United, because if they had won the Europa League, that would have been one trophy they closed in. I think the count now is 48 to us, 45 to them. So if they had won the Europa League, that gap would have closed again a bit. What we need to do now next year is win this Premier League again, to move out on our own at the front, to go back to back, and to absolutely watch heads explode. Do you know what you're going to see now? I'm going to call it. You're going to see people starting to say that Liverpool are spending beyond our means, or that Liverpool are becoming everything that Liverpool profess to hate because we finally start spending money. There's always got to be an angle as to how they can bring down Liverpool. Ryan said 4-2-4, Szoboszlai Wirtz up front, take turns to drop deep. That would be where my money would be. Like we've said before, that almost 4 box midfield. I think you're probably right about a false 9 and then somebody running deep. We've seen Jones and Szoboszlai do this before. We've seen, even when Diaz plays through the middle, you see at times him dropping towards the halfway line and you look ahead and Jones will have moved further forward or Elliott will have moved further forward. Everything's possible. But isn't it great to just look at it now and think, okay, we could do X, Y, and Z. Whereas before, maybe we're limited to going, right, our structure's pretty rigid. We have a 4-3-3. Trent can push inside to give us a bit extra, but ultimately we're leaving ourselves vulnerable. Now we've got fluidity and we've got options coming out the manager's ears. And I love it. Archie, thank you, my man, said, I think it'll be a box midfield with Maka, Gravenberch sitting like they did this season with Wirtz and Szoboszlai as the 10s just in front. It could very well be, yes. And then the width being provided by Mohamed Salah and maybe Gakpo on the other side. I hope we see some fluidity again in the front three. Do you remember when we first got Mane, Salah and Firmino? I used to love that they used to just interchange and swap positions, because the defenders didn't know whether to go with them, whether to stay with their man, whether to occupy the territory. And the intelligence of the runs of Firmino just created that space then for Mane and Salah. Carl said, we always love Klopp and everything he did, 100%. You know, we wouldn't be where we are now as a club without Jurgen. And Jurgen grabbing the club by the scruff of the neck and bringing everybody along. And as, you know, the cheesy phrase, turns out it's the believers. He did. Do you think I could show my hairless chest out over this? Do you think I could show my hairless chest out over this big news? Sure. If you'd like to, mate. You be you. You be you. I got to say, as an Arsenal fan, I'm not a fan of AFTV. They're just too loud, and I feel they're one of the biggest reasons Arsenal fans are hated. So, I agree. Look, I don't know any of the guys at AFTV personally. I don't interact with them. I don't know anything about them. But I've always held the opinion that they are one of the reasons the fan content took a lot longer to establish itself as a credible place. Because some of the takes, some of the loudness, some of the brashness, it's ridiculous, quite frankly. And without knowing the lads personally, I don't want to go in and slag them, but they've never been on my playlist. They've never been a channel that I've wanted to interact with or do any content with. I've never liked it. I haven't. I think they set content back a while. That's just my take on it. But look, it's obviously made some people a lot of money. They've gone past whatever it is, 1.5 million followers or subscribers or whatever they have. But it's just not my cup of tea, quite frankly. Look, I'm sensationalist, I'm loud, I'm brash at times, but some of the stuff I've seen them get away with, I wouldn't have gotten away with it. Goldbridge wouldn't have got away with it. True Geordie wouldn't have got away with it. The Irish guy wouldn't have got away with it. I think they've had more than their share of scandals that they've gotten past. Let's put it that way. And look, I could get into it a lot deeper, but I'll leave that to the likes of Lee Gunner. Wirtz last post on X was a photo of him and Frimpong fist bump. Can't believe it's actually happening. Punch me in the face, Craig, so I know it's real. I don't want to punch you in the face, if that's all right, Dougleash, but I'm still thinking back to the photo of the pool. Do you remember when he was in Corsica or wherever he was on holidays? Do you reckon that that's what he meant by that picture of the pool? Do you think that was the hint that we were all wondering that it was? Reckon Wirtz will play as a false nine like Firmino, said Anish. It's definitely possible, my man. I think that's probably been one of the most asked questions so far since we found out that Wirtz was going to be joining. And the answer is, I would imagine so, but I don't know off the top of my head until we hear from Arna. So what's this? So Jurgen Klopp, here's a quote directly from him. I'm not going to Roma. If you read any rumours about me taking a coaching job in the next few years, it's bullshit. You can be the first to say it. So there we go. I still can't believe some outlets ran with that story of Klopp to Roma. When it fell into our laps, we looked at it and just laughed, in all honesty. I couldn't believe some outlets ran with it because it just made no sense to us. Just none. Nothing against Roma as a club, but it just made no sense. Right, let's get into the chat. Dom is a false nine. Wirtz in behind. Yes, please. Wirtz and McAllister, central attack and midfield. Oh dear, said Technation. Craig, will there be a Premier League prediction video for this game week? No. And the reason why is because they died on their arse. Honestly, mate, of all the collections of videos we've done over the years, those Premier League predictions ones were the most painful to do each week because we knew they were going to die on their arse. And this week we just thought, it's no point in even predicting the last day of the season stuff because who knows, who cares. And we will go back at it next year, but we're going to jazz it up a little bit. We're going to make sure we keep a record and a table of stuff. But yeah, no, nothing this week, mate, because I had to record a few bits today. The preview was coming out for the Brighton game, or the Palace game tomorrow, and I'm travelling to Liverpool, like I said. Right, let's check in on our poll. So, question was, do you think we still go in for a striker? And I might as well end it because there's been more than enough votes in one direction. So 65% of you guys and girls think yes, Liverpool still go in for a striker. There you go. And no, 11%, yes, but a cheaper one, 23%. I'm probably in the 23%. I probably think in a bit lower caliber of striker, but I absolutely want it to be somebody like Alvarez or Isak. Muckrab said, do predictions with Lee and that Leeds fan, YouTube, and compete. Yeah, that's a good show. That might be a good show. Myself and Joe were talking about the possibility of doing something regular together. But let me run that past the lads, and maybe that could be something we could do once a week, and we could even rotate it with whose channel it's on or something. Good suggestion, that Muckrab. Thank you. Do scores against those fans where you poll us for scores against your predictions. Absolutely. Love these ideas. Honestly, keep them coming. Anything like that, we'll probably talk about this in the next few weeks where I'll ask you for your suggestions for content ideas for next season. I've said this before, but I want to reiterate it one more time. When we booked these two shows, particularly the reunion show on the right, the idea was that I leave after those shows. I wasn't even going to announce it until the end of the show on stage. The plan was that was it. I was to leave Anfield Agenda, stop making Liverpool content, and hang up my microphone. But the last month and a half, I don't know what's happened. Our numbers are going through the roof. People are being extremely kind towards us, and it just gave me renewed energy and belief that maybe we still have a bit more to go. So I know I have at least 2 years left in me that I'm going to keep going doing this, and let's see what those few years bring. David Douglas said, heading over in the morning, Craig, hopefully bump into you in Liverpool. Dougie, if you want to come to our live show, let me know, man. I'll send you some tickets. We're doing a show at the Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool on Sunday night. If you want to come along, Dougie, you know me from childhood, mate. Absolute pleasure. Drop me an email and I'll send you a couple of tickets. Be lovely to see you on the night if you do want to come across. But if you don't, my man, enjoy being over there. I've no doubt you're going to enjoy the crack in Liverpool. But just drop me an email, contact@anfieldagenda.com. Contact@anfieldagenda.com. If you want to pop along, my man, I'll sort those tickets out for you. Send them over to you. Be an absolute pleasure. But either way, have a great time. I can't imagine. The buzz in the city is going to be unbelievable. We're flying out tomorrow. I think we're on the 4 o'clock flight tomorrow afternoon. Right, let's keep going. Jack said, you're still top of the Irish guys table. Oh, that means Michael's gone bald. Because that's my forfeit for him if I was to win that. I can't believe I went the whole season pretty much and topped that league. That's a fluke. The legend said, maybe this is just me, but I always rated Jota. Jota's good, but this season he looks like he's running through toffee. He just doesn't look the same. You know, I would have always classed him as him and Salah being probably our best finishers at the club, but this year just hasn't been the same. He looks like he's aged overnight or something. Jay Bless said, the conspiracy in me is saying Alonso assisted. Hopefully, hopefully he did. Shane Almond said, what about Dan's as the striker option off the bench? I think he has to go out on loan. He needs minutes. He needs to prove that he can play week in, week out over the course of a season. So I would genuinely think, at least for the first 6 months, Shane, it would be sensible for him to go off on a loan. Macy Pappy said, Wirtz will unlock Dom's attacking game totally. Well, we did almost get that hint last week that, when Arne said that he was putting Dom into his preferred position, which is the 8, maybe we got a little indication there of what was to come. That's the issue with us 80s born babies. We have that nervous energy. What we need is some blind devotion. F-Man United, not even on our level. Yeah, we I don't know, man. We were brought up in more humble times, perhaps, Jack. Look, I just can't stop smirking today. I can't even believe it's 10 already, and we've been on here for over an hour and a half. And where's the time gone? The legend said, "What do you think is the most difficult position to play in?" Centre of the park, probably. I think centre of the park is probably the most difficult position. As a former goalkeeper, I'll always say that that's a tough one, but probably central midfield would be the one I would say would be the toughest position. Colzer said, "Are there any defenders in our youth system? Kwanzaa came from nowhere, so is there anybody else?" There is just what's his face. I've drawn a blank now. Nallo. Nallo is another option. Remember, he got sent off in his Champions League debut for us. So he's somebody that's thought of highly at the club. Other than that, I've got to profess I don't pay too much attention to the youth team. Itachi, my pleasure, my man. Again, if it wasn't for the support and the way this channel is going, man, I wouldn't have anything to stay for. So again, thank you to you all. Will said last week to you that I'd forgive FSG if they get Frimpong, Kirkes, Wirtz, Van de Ven and Isak. I'd better get my FSG t-shirt printed at this rate. I don't want Van de Ven. As much as he's brilliant, he gets way too many injuries. So I'd have to say no on him. But he is a top player. Like, you could see how important he was for Spurs in the Europa League. He was probably their standout player. I thought Solanke was dirt in that game, like really bad. Stargirl said, "So we've won the league and now LFC could be playing lots for Wirtz and more others. We're living in a crazy time. You can't leave now." I'm not leaving, like I've said. Absolutely not. But that was the plan when the shows were booked. The show initially, the reunion show, that was the plan. I was going to just say it on that night. I wasn't going to tell anybody until then. Even Connor didn't know. That was going to be my bye-bye. I had some health issues as well that I've spoken about that I've finally started to get a little bit on top of. So right now, the plan's to go for a couple more seasons. Toes said, "Would you do any video?" I've never really had any interaction with him. I certainly don't have anything against Lawrence. He's a Liverpool fan like myself. I bumped into him once. We were at the launch of La Liga TV in London. 5-6 years ago maybe. I bumped into him. Seemed like a nice guy. But just never had any interaction with him. So I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. If somebody wants to do that with me, just drop me a message and we'll try and figure it out. I don't have many people I refuse to work with. I'm pretty much open to everyone. But I have reached out to others in our Liverpool content world. I've always been given the cold shoulder from other big content creators. Not the right vibe and whatnot. David said, "Thank you for your show, Craig. Really appreciate your effort and time. Joined when you had 60k subscribers and hardly missed any." My pleasure. Yes, stream was glitching for a second, unsung. I did notice a glitch for a second, my man. Apologies on that one. It did. No, it should be back now anyway. But again, just hit the refresh. It did glitch, definitely. I did see it. So you're spot on that one. And again, apologies on it. Right, where have we got? Jack said, "Yes, Craig, glad you're staying. Such a massive part of the season for me. Wouldn't be the same without you." Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Itachi said, "This is the start of something really big at Liverpool Football Club." I certainly hope it is. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say goodnight to you because I've got to go and record the late news video and start packing stuff up for the trip over to Liverpool tomorrow. But one last time before we finish up, if you want to come and see us, we're at the Hot Water Comedy Club, Blackstock Market, Liverpool, Sunday, May 25th, i.e. this Sunday, for the last day of the season. They're showing the game in the venue as well and we'll be on at 7:30. And then we're back in Liverpool on Wednesday for our show. Again, the Hot Water Comedy Club with myself, Connor, Chris, Steve and Jack all together. Ladies and gents, what an evening it's been. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. Appreciate each and every one of you. Do drop a like for me before you head off. And if you can, hit that subscribe button. Late news video coming out soon. Lots to enjoy. We'll get into it. Talk to you then. Bye.